Well, welcome back. Had another snow come down last night. Probably gave us about an inch and a half of snow, inch of snow, something like that. So you can see I got a bunch on the cabin here. I did go mark some trees yesterday, and they're going to be tamaracks. I plan on cutting them. Got about 5 of them. The lower halves are pretty large, up to 17 inches in diameter. So I think those will work really good for posts in the ground. And then further up it gets a little smaller. What I'm going to do is, you can see the gable ends here. I got 3 gable ends on this little cabin. And I'm going to make shingles with a Froe. So I'm going to make them by hand. Sage, no. And I'm going to shingle the gable ends. And we'll do that. The other thing is I'm cutting down about 5 trees today. That should provide me with enough shingles to do the shed if I want. And I have a couple other little structures I'm going to build for my water holding tank down at the spring. I need to build a shed over that where I'm going to develop the spring. I want to build a small enclosure over it as well, and that way it'll keep animals out of it once I've developed that. And that's something I'll be doing this spring. That's one of the first things I really need to get done, as well as I've got a priority of getting this travel trailer sold this year. That's something I need to do too, because I'm running out of funds, so I need to sell it so that I can recover some funds to make it to where when I'm 62 I can keep on living. I don't need a lot of money, I just need enough to get by, and I'm going to fall short if I don't sell that travel trailer. So it has a broken water pipes in it from last year, so I've got to get in there and figure out if I can fix it. I'm going to try to fix it without having to cut into anything. And a lot of the PEX piping runs along the edges. The only place I can see having a problem is behind the shower if I have a leak back there. So I'll have to figure out if I can pull that shower stall out that's a fiberglass enclosure. Hopefully it's screwed in and I can pop it out and access the plumbing back there. So I'll figure that all out. That's going to be a huge project, I have a feeling, because I got to trace down any leaks and fix them and replace the PEX piping that might have blew out. It's probably just at joints, most likely, because the PEX piping I think can expand pretty good, but it could be split too. So not a problem. I don't think it's going to be, other than the fact it's going to be a huge task, I don't think it's going to be impossible to do. And then the trailer will be just like brand new again. Anyhow, I got to do that. But back on subject, today I'm going to go up, I'll film cutting down some trees. There's a lot of snow on them. I'm not too thrilled about that, but I'll keep this on me so that I can keep the snow from hitting me, and drop these trees. I don't think we're going to get a ton of snow this rest of this season, but this is like March 10th today, and it's possible here to get snow clear into mid-April. So we'll see what happens with that. It just keeps melting and then it keeps coming back. It's just, I can't wait for spring. I know a lot of you want to see me start building. I can't run the tractor down. There's ice underneath the snow, and it is a sloped property, so it makes it difficult. Of course, where I'm building my cabin and my Quonset hut, once I get that stuff built, that's a nice level. That's the most level area I have on this property. It's a really nice area. The driveway is nice and level, so it'll be an easy area to keep clean and still do things. But I'm not going to move my milling area. It's going to stay down here, so it'll still present an issue if I want to do building. But hopefully the Quonset hut will act as a workshop in the wintertime, so I can do stuff in there too, like building furniture and stuff like that I plan on building for the cabin, because I'm going to build everything. I pretty much will be limited on stuff that I can buy anyways financially. So anyhow, without further ado, let's go out and start finding those trees I marked yesterday. I use an app, by the way, on my phone, Onyx Hunt. And here, let me bring that up. Let me show you Onyx Hunt. So Onyx Hunt, I'll bring it on up here. If you see any of the green marks, those are trees I marked yesterday. I got like 5 of them that I'm going to cut down. So this will track me back to those trees I've marked. I also put a band on them, a bright green band, and it'll be easy to spot them. As well as all the red marks. Those are trees that I've cut that are in the woods that I got to pull out for my next cabin build, which is the Appalachian dovetail cabin build. So anyways, that's next. I do have some different markings on here for other things, but yeah, I got more than 6. I got 3, 6. I got 9 trees marked. I don't think I'm going to cut down more than 6 today. I may not even cut that many down. I don't know. So we'll see. I haven't decided. Other than that, let's get going. Okay, so we're at one of the trees I need to cut down. You can see I got a band on it here. I got a few others that are close to each other. I got to drop this towards the camera. It does seem to lean uphill. I could probably drop it between the 2 trees here. Due to the lean, I think that's what I'm going to do, is drop it through these trees. Alright, so you can see up there, there's a tree with to the left you can see some light. Well, that's the tree we're going to follow, the one with no needles on the branches. That's a Tamarack. That's how Tamarack looks in the fall and winter. It loses all its needles and comes back in the spring. So I'm going to drop that tree in the way it's leaning, which it's more of a deception probably because I'm on a slope. It's probably straight up and down, but I'm going to go ahead and drop it that direction. There's room. And no matter what, I've got to drop it through trees either way. So we'll go ahead and start cutting that. Okay, so here's the second tree, and I have a few more marked I gotta find. My footsteps are a little bit vague since the snow last night. This one I'm gonna have to drop that way and hopefully not hang up. Try to catch a little more of it this time. Last time the camera shut off on me and I didn't get putting the wedge in, so I'll get it this time. Last time I did not wear these. I'm going to this time. And I'm going to turn off this mic because I don't think you need it on. Like that. Tag off the sand here. All right, so this will be the next tree here. I got two more beyond this one. I'm gonna drop this one towards the camera. I think that's gonna be my best bet. Actually, maybe just to the left of the camera would be best. Try not to land on top of the tree I dropped over there. And then I've got, I think, two more further down. I gotta try to determine how to drop them. I'm trying to drop them so they don't land on trees that I fell. Not going to be something I can pull out of here until winter's gone. So Bear with me on that. I'm going to go grab my chainsaw. I stashed it over here. Well, I went and ate lunch. I do need to... I'm going to take out this little tree right here in front because I'm going to follow this that way. You know what? I'm going to try and not cut it out because one of these two trees is going to be the dominant one. I think I can cut my notch right here between the trees to fall that way and not worry about cutting these trees out of the way. I think they'll be fine. When I punch through, I may have to punch through from the other side. This one might be in the way a little bit. So we'll see how that works. Bear with me. Let me get the chainsaw. So here, let's fire this up real quick. Let it warm up. Okay, so hopefully you can hear me. I didn't fill it up with fuel. I thought I would get one more tree cut, then fill it up. I'm going to get these ready. Move this aside. I think I'll start my wedge cut from here. Yeah, I should be able to get my plunge cut just moving this over. We'll go ahead and reposition you so you can see that. I don't need the camera right there where the tree is going to fall anyway. Large Tamarack. Let's see what we can do here. All right, see if we can't fall this thing. See if I can't get this to move it where I want it. Yep, that's right where I wanted it. I hope I caught that on film, but I should have one more around here behind the camera, I think, somewhere. I'll have to mark all these, see what ones I have cut, and then come back. But I'll go ahead and cut this one down. We're right here. I'm going to aim it towards, I'm going to aim it that way. Too tight of a squeeze here, but I should be able to make it go this way. No problem. So we'll go ahead and start the wedge cut on that. Let me get you zoomed in on that. I may have enough fuel in this to do one more. We'll see. This one is heavy on this side, so I believe that should work pretty good. I just prefer cutting trees down like this. It seems more controlled. Then as I cut this one, I've had the same problem. I've got one more wedge here. I used a short one here. I got a longer one for the back because it's going to take a longer one to push it on over if that's going to be a problem. We'll see. So I did have, it's hard to tell how tall these are. I'm at about 24 inches of snow here. It's up to my knees, bear with me. I did take out the top of a tree over here. The snow is really deep right here. We are at the top of my property, probably around 5,000 feet level. So now I'll go ahead and mark the trees. When I find the other one, I'll come back to you. I only want to cut one more down today. I think I have two more from yesterday I tied off, but this will be 6 trees today if I get one more. So bear with me. And I did miss that tree, luckily, that I was talking about. I thought I might hit. I just missed it barely. All right, so I found the other tree. It's right down here. I can see it from here. We're walking right towards it. So it's all within range of the others. Get over here with it. Should be able to start seeing the band on it here. Yeah, right there in the center of the screen.
heard cracking. Again, I don't know which way this is going to fall with the weight. All right. Bear with me while I reposition you. And we'll see what happens here. I'll get you in position. You can see it go either way. Oh yeah, it's going backwards. There. So that was a better way for it to go, actually. Much better. I kind of thought that was going to happen. Because it would have fell into these trees. So even though I had wedges on it, it didn't matter. That's the first time I've had one fall backwards. I have had one fall sideways though. So I kind of knew I was fighting it. That's the way she rolls. It fell in a good spot. And it wasn't a catastrophe, so that's all good. All right, so bringing it up to the fall. You can see I intended the way I had it wedged, the way I notched it, I had intended for it to fall back this way. It fell off backwards, which is fine because where it fell is much better than where it would have fell over there. So that worked out pretty darn good for being a backwards fall. Not good. You don't want that. That's really a thing you don't want to have happen. But as long as you're out of the way and you can watch it, you know, and it's a controlled fall, it's going into a clearing, which is what it did. It went into a clearing. Bring it on over here. I do hope it didn't hit my gas can and stuff, but better that than me, right? So here it is here. Oh yeah, take you over here. I'll show you where my stuff is. It landed close to it. Cross over here. So it just missed the base of the tree I cut earlier. The second tree I cut earlier. All right, so there's my stuff. And the top of the tree landed right on the last stump I cut before lunch. It's right on it. So it's all good. It's a good fall. Unbelievable. All right, I'm gonna go mark my plants. All right, folks. This was the last one today. This is the butt of the tree that I cut down on the stump right here. This landed on that stump. So if this tree wasn't cut down first, it would have landed right in direct path of this tree. But since I cut it out, it landed and missed all trees. So that worked out good. And it's right by another tree, so it's going to be convenient to work on. All these trees are in line of each other, except for the ones down below that I cut earlier. So I got 6 trees I cut. They're all Tamarack. And like I said, the Tamarack is going to be, a lot of it's going to be shingles I'm going to make with a Froe, I think. I mean, I could do them with the mill, but I think it'd be really better, more rustic looking if I do them with a Froe. And I think it'll be pretty interesting for you folks to see them made by hand. So I'm going to go down to my log cabin that's dilapidated and fell apart that somebody built probably in the early 1800s, maybe late 1700s is my guess. And it's still got roofing material on it. And I'm sure it's Tamarack because it's all from the land here. And Tamarack tends to split similar to cedar from what I've been told. So that's why they use Tamarack in these parts of Washington state to make their roofing material. And I'm going to attempt to emulate that for the next cabin build, and possibly, depending on what I want to do with the shed, I may just go board and batten roof. May do that. I'd almost like to entertain doing an earth roof on it. I think that'd be really cool. But with the fact that we get so much snow here, we're talking the earth roof has a lot of weight to it. That may not be a good idea. So I'll probably not do that, just thinking about it out loud right now. I would love to do something like that. I just don't think this is the area. I don't need a collapsed cabin. I don't need to keep cutting trees down for building too much. I mean, I'm still going to do trees for building. Obviously, I got a mill. That's the reason I bought a heavily forested land, but it needs thinned out. The property has a lot of trees on it. Pine and fir is the dominant down below. These trees, this is my upper property, so the Tamarack's more predominant in my higher elevations. My property probably goes up from the base of my property to the top close to 700 or 800 feet in elevation, I bet you. I haven't actually sat down and checked it out, but it's completely sloped except for where I'm building my next Appalachian dovetail cabin at and my Quonset hut. That area is right at the base of the first mountain, and then it goes down again. So it goes down like this, kind of levels out, and then drops back down. But this is the sharpest drop here. It's much steeper. Because where I'm going to build my Appalachian dovetail cabin, I got a hill, and I got a way to drive up there and park my utility trailer with a few hundred gallons of water. And then I can just hook them up to a buried water line that goes to the cabin, and I can just gravity feed down to another tank down there and pump from that tank. And I think I'm going to try to figure out if there's a way to put a valve in there, so when the tank fills up, that'll just shut off, and as it drops, the float will drop, and then it'll open up the waterway so more water can go in until it fills up, and they'll shut it back off, kind of like, I guess, a toilet. So I'd like to do something like that. So some of the things I'm planning on doing, they're going to take time. Obviously, it's not going to happen this year, but all this shingle making, I would like to have that happen this year so it can go into the Quonset hut, and I can bundle it up and already have it done drying, and hopefully it won't split when I go to put it on the roofing. So I'm going to try to research that a little bit, because I don't know if it's a good idea to pre-make them. I'm going to research it, figure it out, and I'll go based off the research I find. And I know the perfect guy, Peter from Woodland Escape. He's very knowledgeable on that, and if I can get a hold of him, maybe he can give me some pointers. I would really appreciate it if he would. So I'm going to ask him. I'm going to try to contact him and see if he can give me some pointers, and we'll go from there. So if you've never heard of the Woodland Escape with Peter, if you're interested in the 1700s, he's building a fort, and he's already built a beautiful log cabin. He's already built he's built a shop. He's got a shop, but like I said, now he's building a fort. So he's emulating everything from the 1700s, and he wants that to live on, and I think it will. I think it's going to be a real special place he's building. And he does everything. He walks around with a musket, so he dresses the part. So he's really into it. So it's pretty neat. It's a different vintage than I'm interested in as far as living, but it's pretty close to what I'm living. So I think It's not a whole lot different. I just don't wear the clothes. I don't do everything by hand like he does. He does everything pretty much by hand. I'm sure he uses a chainsaw from time to time, I guess, but I don't know. I don't think I've seen that. I don't get to watch his stuff all the time because I'm busy doing my stuff, but I try to watch it whenever I can. And I'm a big fan of his, as well as Sean James. Many of you probably know. I'm a big fan of his too. So those are two people I think that have most influenced me to become an off-grid lifer. Rest of my life, I plan to live off grid. As long as I can keep physically able to do stuff around here, I'm going to keep doing this, and I'm going to keep building. I've got 40 acres to build on, so I've got a lot of plans. I do plan to reconstruct a log cabin down below where that one is that's dilapidated. And I heard there used to be a school across the way. There's a foundation still, but that's all that's left. So I don't know. Another thing I'll be doing when I take and dismantle that log cabin down below and the area where they say was a school, I am going to take a metal detector through there and see what I find. I would like to find an old coin or two to give me a baseline so I could figure out about the vintage this stuff is. There's nothing around here that I have found. Nobody's been able to tell me how old this stuff is. Again, my guess, early 1800s, possibly even late 1700s. I mean, I suppose it could be earlier than that, but I really don't know. I don't think so, because the West, the frontier as they called it, it seems like it was late 1700s, early 1800s before they hit Oregon and Washington area. So I could be wrong. I'm just now researching that and trying to learn about that. So I find that very interesting. So that's it for now. I think we'll call it a day. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. If you liked what you've seen so far, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps my channel out. I would appreciate it. Take care.